بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I am Rawan Ad-Daman. I am the Director General of ARIJ. I welcome you all. Your Excellencies, your esteemed ambassadors, and those who are being with us present tonight. Ambassador of Sweden, Alexandra Redmark, Ambassador of Netherlands, Harry Verwey, Ambassador of Norway, Espen Lindberg, Ambassador of Ireland, Mariana Bogler, Ambassador of the European Union, Pierre Christopher Chadibaz. Honorable audience, Arijians, judging committee for the ARIJ Awards 2023, the 10 nominees for the 14th ARIJ Award for the Arab Investigative Reporting. Thank you for participating with us in both worlds, virtual and in person. Thank you for your trust and your generous words and your encouragement to us to continue and to do whatever we can in order for you to benefit from this forum in the various ways of empowerment and networking and innovation. They were 3 rich days with high quality and creative ideas and respect for the professional ethics. In the virtual world, we had 500 participants from more than 45 countries, and more than 66 countries have participated in the virtual world. These days will remain in our minds for long. 3 days in half a minute. Let's see.
كان الصحفيون والصحفيات
journalists in Palestine and Lebanon particularly working in the ground. They were always in our hearts and minds. And outside this room, there was this petition to ask for the penalization of those who have violated. Those who have not signed yet, please sign when you go out of this room. I thank you all for asking them to end this impunity and to go and ask journalists to be there all the time. It's very sad to see that this continuous ongoing Nakba before our eyes. And journalists here at the forum who are coming from all the Arab countries and insisted to send messages to their colleagues, especially in the occupied Gaza Strip in Palestine. And some of them from Gaza are with us through the virtual world. Let's watch such messages.
أوجه تحية خاصة لكل الناس اللي بيعملوا الآن تحت القصف تحت الضرب. مررنا قبل ذلك بهذه التجارب وأعرف جيدا حالة التضحيات التي يقومون بها، وأحيي ليس فقط الذي يظهر على الكاميرا ولكن هذا الجيش الذي يشتغل وراء الزملاء وراء الكاميرا. أحييهم جميعا وسيشعرون بقيمة ما يفعلونه لاحقا بإذن الله.
كل التحية وكل الإجلال أكيد لكل الصحفيين في غزة. بقول لهم أنه دوركم ورسالتكم أكيد قوية في إيصال الحقائق للمجتمع بأكمله، المجتمع العربي، المجتمع الدولي. أكيد قلوبنا معكم.
أحب أن أقول لزملائنا المدققين المعلومات والصحفيين في غزة وفي فلسطين بشكل عام أن عملهم الإنساني في نقل الحقيقة وفي نقل الاضطهادات التي تحصل للشعب الفلسطيني هو العمل الذي سيستحق أن يتم التضحية عليه. فرسالتي أنكم لستم وحيدون.
أعتقد أنه لا توجد كلمات ممكن أن تعبر عن حجم دعمنا ووقوفنا مع زملائنا الصحفيين في فلسطين الذين ينقلون لنا الوقائع ويساعدوننا على دحض الروايات المضللة بخصوص الحرب في غزة. أنتم معنا في المؤتمر بالرغم من أنه كثيرين منكم لم يتمكنوا من الحضور.
وأود هنا بشكل
Here, I would like particularly to thank the ARIJ newsroom team, 20 journalists from different Arab citizenships, and including 2 colleagues with visual and mobility disabilities, have worked day and night during the past 3 days. I'd like to thank all the distinguished male guests who have cooperated and collaborated with them. I'd also like to thank all who have tweeted with us on the hashtag ARIJ23. It was trending on the whole Jordan level in the first day for 3 complete hours, and we have reached more than 2 million, and in the impressions and visions of more than 180,000. Tweet with us and raise the voice in order to protect journalism everywhere. Maybe ARIJ's forum this year was different because on its sidelines, meetings took place that can be described as shuttle, hard and soft and hard diplomacy. Through discussions with donors and partners and different Palestinian supporting institutions and independent ones, as those who I believe in independent journalism, at the very least, you will hear in the coming weeks about an active role for ARIJ in providing support, emergency support for journalists in Gaza in particular and in Palestine in general, keeping up with efforts to protect them and enable them to continue reporting the truth. I call the Palestinian director. We were honored to have with us in the opening Ashraf Mashharawi to come to the podium.
معك ميكروفون يا أشرف.
أشرف
شكرا للحضور الكريم، وأنا شاكر جدا لتواجدكم اليوم هنا معنا يعني ولدعمكم الشديد خلال الأيام اللي أنا
قلب الميكروفون بس
شكرا. شغال. أول شيء بشكركم.
First, I would like to thank you all for your attendance and the words I heard from you the past 3 days, your big love for Gaza and the nice expressions, the humanitarian, full of love expressions, looking for any opportunity to give to Gaza. It feels great. Thank you for these statements and expressions that are really good to support the people of Gaza. Ashraf, when you came here 2 days ago on Friday, you were surprised with the picture of Gaza. This is the first time you see it. Probably the rest of the attendees saw it for the first time. So would you please explain to us what we're seeing? Prior to that, I would like to say something. Anybody goes to Google the slogan or the motto of the Gaza municipality, it would be the phoenix. This is a famous phoenix that always comes out of ashes stronger. This is Gaza, symbol of Gaza. Whoever visited Gaza back in 2008, of course, the 2008 and 9 war, and who visited is 2012 found it better. And 2014, the destruction was severe. 2016, people would have seen it nicer. It's a truth that the population of Gaza are always strong, and they like to live in a beautiful place. They build, they rebuild, they reconstruct the destruction and the demolished homes. Each time you visit Gaza, you see it a very beautiful city. you would be surprised that it's under siege, and it's even more beautiful than some Arab cities. So if you look at this map, this little space or area, this little beach that extends, it's about 2 kilometers of the Gaza overall area, and it starts here with this with the Ashkelon or Majdal, Asqalan, this area that this is called the the northern part of Gaza, including Bet Lahia, Bet Hanun, Ash-Shati, Sheikh Radwan in this area. Then you have the Rimal area, which is one of the most beautiful places of Gaza. This sea extended to Rafah is a beautiful beach. It's a wide, broad beach, and it's you would hardly find this expansion of sand in the world. That's why this used to be the place to breathe. These areas were like the life of Gaza. I and others used to come here to this area called Zahran for falafel. You would buy a falafel sandwich, and whoever visited Gaza know the apricot, the yellow, and the falafel. People would come to walk here on this beach, and this is the rescue teams at the sea. The Gaza Sea is an amazing one. People come here with their kids, families, poor and rich, those who have money or who don't, they would come here. People would buy sweet potatoes. They would eat nuts, seeds, watermelon seeds. This is where they spend their time. The port was turned into a touristic site. Sharif Sarhan brought all the rubble of the war of the homes, and he made a nice minaret that he called the minaret of Gaza from the rubble of Gaza. I think this was the Israelis really shelled it and turned it into the Gazans turned this into a big park with the boats, with the fishermen boats. Of course, all of it is now destructed. What's really strange is that the amount of destruction and damage, especially at this area, they used to uproot the trees. They would level them to the ground. Anything beautiful, any nice, all the images of the beautiful sites were leveled to the ground. If you look at this place at the port, we have a Dira hotel that was made of clay and bricks. This was the wedding parties halls. The majority population of Gaza used to do their wedding parties here in this place, and the Gazans do remember the nice places, their memories of their marriage life where they started their lives. You have the churches here. We have Al Alam Church, the World Church, that was also totally destructed. If you go to the complexes, the universities of Gaza, they have the best graduates. They have sister programs with American universities and other foreign international universities. They would be graduating with MA and PhD because they are really great universities. All of them were shelled, bombarded. We have a Rimal neighborhood that was destructed. The Palestinian Legislative Council was also bombarded, and we have Rashad al-Shawa Center. Adi Sharif knows this one. This center was built by Rashad al-Shawa with a very unique design. It's one of the most the cultural front of Gaza. Even Clinton, when Clinton visited Gaza, he held the meeting at the Rashad al-Shawa building. The first session of the PLC was held also in this Rashad al-Shawa center. This center was totally shelled and destructed. This means that the symbols of Gaza are are targeted, and they meant to target them. I can say again that Gaza is the phoenix and will rise up again. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Ashraf. The symbolism of having you here. Ashraf has gotten a number of awards, international and universal awards. He has produced and directed more than 40 documentaries and investigative reports that document what happened and what is happening in Gaza. It is our pleasure to have the honor guest, the Irish journalist Jerry Moriarty, who for more than 45 years covered the conflict and clashes in Northern Ireland. He witnessed the killings and the battle of the empty stomachs of the prisoners in Ireland. He witnessed the dream of peace and the change in reality. Probably his profound experience constitutes lessons to be learned for us. Please, our honorable guest, Mr. Jerry Moriarty.
Thank you very much, Rowan. Dear colleagues and friends, it's great to be here. First of all, I just want to thank Rowan and ARIJ for the wonderful forum and conference they organised over the weekend. It was very enlightening. I've seen a little bit of this wonderful city. I travelled as well today. People are so friendly. You'd think you were in Ireland. Thank you very much for that. It is an honour and a privilege to be here. Rowan asked me if I could give a speech that offered some hope. Quite a challenge, you will agree, but always we have the duty of hope. I have worked as a journalist for more than 46 years, and over that time, most of my reporting has been involved with covering the Northern Ireland Troubles, as they are called, from conflict to a peace process to a peace settlement, and finally to an imperfect form of peaceful politics. But, and I can't stress this strongly enough, I am deeply conscious of the huge disparity in the scale of the horror and suffering between Northern Ireland and the Middle East, but there could be some useful comparisons. In terms of looking for hope, any journalist who reported on Northern Ireland from, say, 1969 to 1973, a year before the first Irish Republican Army or IRA ceasefire, would have said, as I suspect Arab journalists now are saying, is that the violence and the killing would carry on interminably. Yet against the odds, and for a combination of reasons, strong leaders, international support and pressures, and most importantly, a finally acknowledged realisation that there could be no absolute winners in this dispute, a deal was done. Great arguments are raging in the West over this latest Middle East conflict. Some people like to see everything in black and white. You are for the Israelis or you are for the Palestinians. But I think most people have a much more nuanced perspective. They were appalled and outraged at what happened in Israel on October 7th. They were horrified at the deaths and the hostage-taking. Equally, they were appalled and outraged at what they saw as the disproportionate response of Israel, at the constant bombing and the death and agony of the Palestinian people. It wasn't about taking an ideological position, it was about humanity. That most people wanted the killing, pain and grief to stop. And in our conflict, just as in yours, it was the innocent people, the non-combatants, who bore and bear most of the misery. Hope mostly was hard to find during our troubles. That was because the main parties to the conflict seemed determined that it would continue until one side was victorious. But neither side could achieve total victory. And from time to time, as journalists, we pointed up the illogicality and the immorality of fighting a war you can't win. In our small way, we helped make the Troubles an international story, just as the journalists in Gaza are helping making this a tragedy that the world must face up to and must help do something to correct. When the Troubles erupted, the then Northern Ireland population of about 1.5 million people was roughly broken down as 2/3 Unionist or Protestant who wanted Northern Ireland to remain within the United Kingdom, and 1/3 Nationalist or Catholic who favoured a unified Ireland. A phrase was coined at the time that you can't bomb 1 million Protestants into a united Ireland, and there was truth in that statement, even if the IRA held a different view. Equally, from where I live, it seems perfectly clear that Hamas can't shoot or bomb the Israeli population into the sea. Similarly, in Northern Ireland, the British Army and the police and the loyalist paramilitaries couldn't militarily defeat the IRA. They could weaken them, as they gradually did over the years. But the IRA had sufficient support to continue to operate within some parts of the nationalist community, just, I imagine, and as seems obvious, as has Hamas. It took close to 30 years, but the logic of our situation finally was confronted in the acknowledgement that if neither side could win, then there had to be a compromise. It took close. Thankfully, that happened in April 1998 with the Good Friday Agreement, which brought in political power sharing between the Unionist and Nationalist parties. But to take you back further, before that agreement could be achieved, for 25 years and more, journalists reported each day on the shootings and the bombings and the killings and the maimings and the funerals, just as journalists here are doing, but on a much larger scale. Occasionally there was some politics. In 1973, we had the Sunningdale Agreement. Like the Good Friday Agreement, it also provided for power sharing and a role for Dublin in the affairs of Northern Ireland. But that agreement was destroyed through loyalist opposition and violence and through the continuing violence of the IRA. During these years, as reporters, we felt that such was the polarisation, that such was the hatred, that there was no solution. Sunningdale seemed the best chance, but that brief light of optimism was quickly extinguished, just as the hope of the Oslo Accords, which seemed to offer a pathway to a two-state solution, was shattered in the 1990s. But yet we did get our peace settlement. It took too many years, but it meant the killing stopped. Finally, the logic of the futility and senselessness of waging a campaign of violence that could not be won landed with the chief protagonists. The IRA declared ceasefires, and so did the loyalist paramilitaries. We were blessed with strong leaders. Gerry Adams and Martin McGuinness were able to convince the IRA that it was time to down arms. Gusty Spence and David Irvine and Gary McMichael persuaded the loyalist paramilitaries to do the same. Politically, the then Taoiseach, or our Prime Minister, Bertie Ahern, and the British Prime Minister, Tony Blair, rolled up their sleeves and got stuck into the hard nuts and bolts of peacemaking. Ours was a little war, but the world was watching. It too wanted the killing to stop. There was international goodwill. In Washington, President Bill Clinton helped out, as did the European Union. American Senator George Mitchell, a patient and sainted man, chaired our peace talks and did a great job. Many other international actors also played their part. And we had the two main political representatives of non-violent unionism and nationalism, David Trimble and John Hume, who led the two main political parties at the time. Against expectations and at great personal cost to themselves, they agreed a power-sharing structure that, while flawed and shaky at times, has permitted the peace to cement and to endure. We are thankful for that. From where I'm living, Israel and Palestine don't seem to be blessed with great leaders at the moment. Maybe they are waiting in the wings. But there is international goodwill. People are moved and in many cases tormented by the continuing anguish in the Middle East. There is no doubt about that. The world wants to help. There must be guilt as well. I sensed this weekend the cynicism about the West and earlier on about some of the coverage. But if somehow we can get beyond this awful and bloody period in history, perhaps there can be useful assistance from Washington and from London and from Europe. The people who elect these governments want them to do something that might bring peace between Palestinian and Israel. That's obvious from the rallies that have been held all around the world. These countries assisted in our peace process. They can help here too. Our story faded from the world headlines from time to time, but some of those international players helped bring it centre stage again. So don't give up on the West. Make friends with powerful people who want to help. And if required, the Irish government also can provide support. I remember being in Tunis with our then Foreign Minister, Jerry Collins, back in 1989 or 1990, and asking Yasser Arafat if Ireland could assist in peace talks. For example, could Dublin be a possible venue for such negotiations? He was surprised at the question, but amenable enough to the idea. It's just a thought. Ireland can be an honest broker, even if right now Israel has a jaundiced view about our bona fides. And just as a quick aside, I plead ignorance about local politics here, but could I say that the Jordanian Foreign Minister, Ayman Safadi, strikes me as a man who has the wisdom and diplomatic skills of a strong leader and perhaps could be a mediator. Looking back, the Good Friday Agreement of 1998 was similar to what had been on offer at Sunningdale in 1973. The pity is there were so many deaths and injuries in the wasted years in between. It led to one of our great politicians, Seamus Mallon, wryly commenting that the Good Friday Agreement was Sunningdale for slow learners. 25 years ago, and weeks before our own accord was signed, there were grave doubts over whether a deal could be reached. Negotiations were going badly. At that time, I interviewed a nationalist politician called ARIJ Rogers, who with great prescience predicted, "I think there will be a settlement if the will to compromise prevails over the fear of compromise." Such compromise is never easy, but happily that is what happened. To my mind, what ARIJ said, the will to compromise prevailing over the fear of compromise, carries a strong truth. From my faraway distance, and such are the horrors you are reporting on at the moment, it seems there is little immediate prospect of achieving such compromises between Palestine and Israel. But equally, such are the horrors that the world must carry some of the burden of seeking a solution. Maybe in the future, and hopefully not too far distant, international pressure will mount to facilitate a settlement to a conflict that now seems endless, just as our conflict once seemed endless. I don't have any definitive political answers for you, I'm afraid, but, and I say it tentatively, perhaps the solution lies somewhere in an Oslo for slow learners. Some 60 journalists have died in this war, mostly those in Gaza, but some Israeli journalists too. I pay tribute to all media who report this conflict while acting within the precepts of our rough trade. So many deaths is a terrible sacrifice at a personal level for these reporters and for their families. But it is a dreadful loss to our craft as well. And if you ever escape from this nightmare, as I pray and hope you will, the work of journalists in telling and showing the world what is happening will have played a critical part in that release. It will be their legacy. I admire your work and I wish you well. Shukran. Thank you.
You have proven during the ARIJ forum this year that cross-border collaboration in a divided world is possible, basic, and available. This is something that we need to discuss amongst ourselves. We might agree or disagree, talk and listen, but we have to be all relying on one language, the language of the reliable information and accountability. So as even if we speak in different languages, let's watch.
Hola, soy José Bautista, soy periodista de investigación. Estoy en Amán gracias a los compañeros de ARIJ y bueno, estamos aprendiendo mucho sobre protocolos de periodismo de investigación, periodismo de datos, desde herramientas hasta metodología, donde encontrar fuentes nuevas, cómo mejorar nuestras visualizaciones. Todo esto para mejorar la información que estamos trabajando en un mundo que cada vez es más complejo y es más difícil de explicar.
Hola, soy Maribel, soy de la Fundación Maldita de España. Y lo que más me ha gustado de este taller ha sido colaborar con compañeros internacionales.
Hi, ik ben Boris van Westering en ik kom uit Nederland. En ik vind eigenlijk hier op ARIJ is het fantastisch om iedereen weer te zien. Dus alle journalisten bij elkaar, alle mensen van overal vanuit het Midden-Oosten. Het is fantastisch om samen te zijn. Dankjewel.
Hallo, mein Name ist Julia, ich bin Deutsche und was ich am spannendsten finde, ist, dass wir hier interkulturell zusammenarbeiten, aber auch mit verschiedenen Lösungsansätzen, vom Faktencheck bis zum Journalismus.
Ciao a tutti, sono Sabrina e ho appena fatto un workshop con il team di ARIJ. Abbiamo parlato di AI e le considerazioni etiche che si devono avere. Con il gruppo c'è stato un sacco di interesse riguardo al fact-checking e come si può utilizzare la tecnologia per aiutare a fare fact-checking.
Cześć, Aleks Szynkiewicz z Polski z tej strony. Bardzo się cieszę, że mieliśmy okazję poznać się wszyscy i pracować wspólnie w gronie osób ze świata arabskiego i z całej Europy.
გამარჯობა, თინათინ თვალური საქართველოდან. Workshop-ის ყოველდღიური საინტერესო გამოცდილება სხვადასხვა ქვეყნების ფაქტ-ჩეკერებთან ერთად სამუშაო გამოცდილების, განსხვავებული იდეების და გამოცდილებების გაზიარება და მათთან ერთად მუშაობა იყო.
Ibizo lami ngumeli Mthabisi Ncube ngokobulawayo eZimbabwe. Ngisuke khona eZimbabwe ngilanda ukuthi sizokhuluma ngoku-fact checker noku-check ukuthi amanga aqanjwa njani ngama-Arab fact checkers.
ليلى الشيخلي من العراق. طبعا هذه مش أول مرة أحضر منتدى أريج وسعيدة جدا وفخورة أني أكون معكم. السنة هذه لاحظت شيء جديد وفعلا لفت انتباهي. المعرض الفني ترجمة المشاريع الاستقصائية من خلال الفن. هذا شيء مبتكر وجديد وأعتقد أن راح يكون أيضا نقطة تحول وربما يعني نشهد المزيد من الإقبال على هذا النوع من الترجمة إن شئتم للعمل الاستقصائي الوثائقي من خلال عمل فني يرسخ الفكرة أكثر.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sophie Exich, je viens de France et ce que je trouve très intéressant à ARIJ, c'est de voir des personnes qui viennent d'autant d'endroits différents avec des expertises, des expériences, des histoires qui sont autant variées et qui cherchent ensemble à collaborer, à faire de grandes choses et à maintenir une place pour l'information qui soit forte et indépendante.
Orúkọ mi ni Ajíbọ́lá Hamzat. Mo wá láti ìlú Nàìjíríà. Àbújá ni mò ń gbé. Inú mi dùn láti wá sí ìpàdé yìí níbi tí a ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ bí a ṣe máa tako ọ̀rọ̀ irọ́ tí ń ràn káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé. Mo sì dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n pè wá wọ́n ní ká wá sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. A dúpẹ́ o.
Merhaba, benim adım Hadil Arca, ben Suriyeli gazeteciyim. Bu konferans bağımsız bir gazeteci olarak benim için oldukça önemlidir. Farklı ülkelerden gelen gazeteciler tanışmak ve yaşadıklarımızı paylaşmak. Şimdi zor zamanlarda yalnız olmadığımız hissettirdi. Bu konferans yani Arap ülkesinde böyle bir konferans var. Çok gurur duyuyoruz.
Eu sou Esther, sou do Brasil, represento o Internet Lab aqui em Amman. Com certeza o highlight da conferência para mim foram dois. O primeiro, o painel sobre violência de gênero online. Eu acho que jornalistas investigativos precisam se preocupar com esse tipo de violência hoje no mundo, não só no mundo árabe. É muito interessante saber que a América Latina e todo o sul global compactuam com as visões apresentadas aqui. E o segundo highlight, com certeza, foi o documentário sobre Gaza. Muitas vezes no Ocidente nós não temos todas as informações que nós gostaríamos de ter sobre a situação em Gaza e foi muito esclarecedor.
Jason McClure from The Examination, an investigative news agency in the United States. It's hard to pick just one highlight from ARIJ because there have been so many. There have been wonderful discussions on artificial intelligence, on reporting techniques, on cross-cultural journalism. Of course, we all gather here, feeling sorrow for the deaths of our colleagues in Gaza.
When we hear all these languages, we highly appreciate the work of translators in the ARIJ Forum. So a special salute to the translators and to the sign language translators, interpreters who were with us in these past 3 days. Now we are about to make a number of announcements that would benefit the broader ARIJ community that we announced for the first time today here at the 16th ARIJ Forum. First, we opened the door for competition for the Shireen Abu Akleh Fellowship of the year 2024. It's open to all journalists of Palestinian origins, and we seek to have next year a female or a male journalist from Gaza. The application form is open now through the end of this month on the ARIJ website and social media platforms. We were very happy to have with us in the Shireen Abu Akleh Fellowship of the year 2023 our colleague from Hebron, Palestine, Asma Al-Masalmi. I invite Asma to stand up. We were very pleased to have you with us. We look forward to reading your investigative report very soon. Second, opening the competition for the Data Journalism Diploma in its 5th edition of the year 2024. It's open now to all journalists from all over the Arab world. The application form is open now until February 2024. More than 700 male and female journalists competed for the Data Journalism Diploma this year. The free fellowship was for a 6-month training was won by about 20 male and female journalists whom we were able to be here with us in face. I ask all of those who completed the first, second, and third and fourth versions of this data diploma to stand up in this hall. All of those who spent 6 months of training with homework, projects, various projects and examinations, I thank all of you. Third, we announce the names of the colleagues who will be with us in the 6-month fellowship in Jordan, in FACE, in partnership with our partners FPU Unlimited. Nada, Ula, Fatma, and Amal, please stand up if you are present. We are happy that our next year's trainings would be open for all of you, and we look forward to your effective and Jordanian investigative reports that have impact. Fifth, we announce the names of the colleagues who will be with us on the good governance in Jordan. We thank Ghaida and Hayat and Sarah, who will be in the ARIJ office in the next few months. So if you're here, please stand up. Fifth, we announce the names of our NED colleagues for 6 months fellowship that bring together virtual and face-to-face events. There would be specialized in algorithm-related and AI-related crimes. Wafa Aruru from Palestine, Samar Faddul from Lebanon, Sharif Murad from Egypt, Iba Al-Hawamde, and please stand up, Iba Al-Hawamde from Jordan. With support by the EU and with partnership by EU, we would announce the three winning media organizations with the ARIJ fact-checking grant, Daraj, Siraj, and Masr al-Yawm. We would also launch from AFCN of ARIJ free manuals and sources accessible to everyone with the Sah project that the AFP fund and that is implemented by AFD, and after 2 years of contributing to building that fact-checking community, a strong one in the Arab world, with the following resources: the AFCN library for checking information, which includes information checking terminology, Arab information institutions, fact-checking institutions. Second, the safety and security guide, a manual for information fact-checkers in the Arab world, which helps in understanding the most common threats and learning the ethics, publication and posting ethics, and how to mitigate the threats against legal threats. Third, a manual for information checking tools through which we explore and understand important information on how to use the tools in fact-checking, and you can use the QR code that is special for this purpose. We would this year conclude with the Dalil project that is supported by the EU, and in which the network of the Arab AFCN and Siren Foundation in Lebanon and JOSA in Jordan. And this QR code, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you can go through, you can access the Dalil platform with our partner Siren. With this Dalil that we conclude this year, after 2 years, we have done a lot, held a lot, dozens of trainings online and face-to-face for fact checkers.
We also announced that there will be a joint award between ARIJ and media institutions for artificial intelligence, whereby we can, and in the next few weeks, it will be launched as part of ARIJ's strategy for artificial intelligence. Also, from a Google initiative, we are working on revising the full fact AI tools for verifying information. It's in a partnership with full fact graphics in order to fact check information by AI. Also, with the support of Google News Initiative, we announced our future trainers in information fact checking. There will be a training for 20 fact checkers from 11 Arab countries who will participate in an intensive training of trainers workshop, whereby then they will train in their own respective countries. We also will launch the Let's Fly Together project, supported by the International Information Fact Checking Network, through which we will be able to support 6 fact checkers, institutions, organizations, or networks in the Arab world strategically. And I thank their owners who are with us here and her team with us. During the first quarter of next year, the digital information verification assistant will be on WhatsApp in a new look, supported by AI. And as part of implementing our AI strategy that we have announced for in this project, we will have with us a diploma for AI in journalism in collaboration with Artificial Intelligence Project at Polis LSE and supported by the Google News Initiative. And there will be a free distance learning course on discovering artificial intelligence in Arabic that will be free and available to all as a weekly newsletter, available to all journalists and fact checkers who are eager to learn about this topic. Also, our dear friend Leila Shekhli has said that there was this exhibition in the hall about the 3 exhibitions, 3 sites to become, and that was part of the 7. There were 7 exhibitions on the sidelines of the ARIJ Forum and specialized clinics with our partners, with Roripec and GFMD. Let's watch a part of these exhibitions.
Isam
and Yasser, and all journalists in the Martyrs exhibition, we will not forget you, and we will be always your voice to raise it in order to hold the criminals accountable. I would like here to have with us the special QR code for ARIJ, if possible, in order to, and if you can scan this QR code, you'll be able to access all our networks and access it, and we will also send it to you in our weekly newsletter. And here I would like to renew my gratitude to all the donors and partners who support ARIJ and this forum in its 16th edition. Without you, it wouldn't have happened. Thank you very much, all of you, and a special salute to all partners and donors. Me and my team, to have worked had we not had a real back, a board of directors that believes in true governance and distribution of responsibilities. I now invite our dear friend, chair of ARIJ's board of director, Reem Abu Hassan, to the podium to an important announcement for the board of directors. Reem Abu Hassan, the floor is yours.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أسعد الله أوقاتكم.
Thank you very much, everybody. I would like to thank you for being with us in ARIJ's 16th board forum in person and a virtual world. I was honored to be chairing the board of directors of ARIJ to guarantee the work on governance and to enhance and promote the role of ARIJ in and entrepreneurial role in the Arab world. And I would like here to thank my colleagues in the board of directors of ARIJ and the team, a distinguished work team headed by Rawan. May you stay the best colleagues. We were all one hand in collaboration, support, and technical expertise. And now it's time to be back as member of the board of directors and to assume this to Zahira Harb, my dear colleague. Zahira is the head of the international journalism in City University in Britain. I wish my dear Zahira all the best in her new position, and we will remain all hand in hand to take ARIJ to new horizons. And assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. My dear colleagues, distinguished guests, I would like to start my mission confirming my special thanks to Ms. Reem Abu Hassan for her efforts and her wise leadership. And my extended thanks is to my colleague Kim Ghattas for the efforts that she has made in the governance of ARIJ, which was transformed with the efforts of the executive headed by Rawani Damen, through the executive work team headed by Rawani Damen and the support of the board of directors, to an exclusive and incubating organization that has clear administrative, financial, legal, and editorial policies. Investigative journalism is one of the main pillars of accountability journalism. And in order for the journalistic product to ripen, it has become necessary to spare the basic space to fact-check information. Thus, ARIJ is now the meeting place of these two pillars, investigative journalism and fact-checking. ARIJ has succeeded in becoming a cross-border organization at the Arab and international levels. It has become the encompassing home for independent Arab journalism, which you can feel its pulse and contributes to its development. It is the undisputed leader in the field. Yet, at the same time, it never hesitates to provide professional, technical, psychological, and financial support in the investigative journalists throughout the Arab region. The war on Gaza made it clear to all of us that we are in dire need for a fair, just, and humane journalism. So who is more capable than Arab journalists to bear such a responsibility? The war on Gaza told us that the Western media can learn from our experiences, we have learned from its experiences. The war on Gaza proves to us on a daily basis that on this land, on this earth, there is what makes life worth living. This is a quote from the great Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish. Therefore, a tribute from all of us to the sacrifices of the Lebanese and Palestinian journalists who are covering this war against humanity. The sacrifices of these journalists have united all Arab journalists across the different countries, organizations, and walks of life. And what ARIJ Forum has shed light on in its 3 days is only a mirror that reflects the pulse of the solidarity and the reality of the world, of the solidarity that journalists from the East and the West of the Arab world are experiencing with every picture and word sent by their colleagues from the land of Gaza. We will strive to ensure that ARIJ remains an inclusive and incubating organization for all Arab investigative journalists and fact-checkers. We will strive for ARIJ to maintain its professional and editorial independence and to remain the space which journalists would resort to for trainings, for learning, and for developing their skills. We will strive to ensure that ARIJ, the first in keeping pace with the rapid technological developments, accelerated developments in order to serve effectively the Arab investigative journalism, an effective Arab investigative journalism. ARIJ is so effective in its own way. It proved to have the capacity to gather and to be the reference for professional and ethical journalism throughout the Arab region, as well as in the Arab diaspora communities around the world. I would like to conclude, just as I began, thanking the ARIJ Board of Directors for the confidence that they gave me in assuming the presidency of the Board of Directors, a role that means a lot to me. I entered the profession of journalism and then the academia with great passion. I hope I meet your expectations now and every time, at all times. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to the new board of directors, director of the board of directors of ARIJ, based on the request of the fact checkers community to have next year they will have an award from ARIJ. We are announcing the cross-border cooperation in information fact checking, and we will wait for this in all passion at the beginning of next year to be with us in this year, next year. Now we come to the essence of this ceremony, the announcement of the awards for the best Arab investigative reports for 2023. This year, 149 investigations from 16 countries were submitted for the award. 36 of them were submitted by female journalists. And I would like here to thank the screening committee in ARIJ, the editorial board at ARIJ for its being with us, Editor-in-Chief Munir Al-Khatib and editorial board Huda Atman and Itar Lazem. And I would like to also add the independent professional screening committee for selecting the 10 nominees and the winners. The committee is chaired by Bayan Attal, a veteran consultant in media education and media communication, with her as members Hiba Qandil, Senior Director of Media Initiatives at the Thomson Reuters Foundation, and Abdallah Maksour, the novelist and trainer specializing in journalism in the Arab world, and Naji At-Tamimi, the producer of the investigative journalism unit at Al Jazeera Network, and Anas Ben Drif, expert and trainer in media and communication. Thank you very much for your generous volunteering with us and your professional independent work. Who are the 10 nominees for this year for the ARIJ's 14th Prize for Arab Investigative Reporting? Let's see.
تحقيق أملاك مسلوبة، كيف يستولي نافذون على عقارات المغتربين بالقامشلي، للصحفي حمزة همكي. يركز التحقيق على معطيات تزوير عشرات عقود البيع في سوريا والاستيلاء على ممتلكات تبلغ قيمتها ملايين الدولارات في منطقة القامشلي السورية. تحقيق الأيدي الدامية أطفال محاجر المنيا للصحفية بربارة لبيب. يكشف التحقيق عن عمالة أطفال المحاجر في مصر في ظل ظروف بيئية قاسية وغياب تام للقوانين، ويوثق حالات الموت والبتر والاستغلال التي يعانيها أطفال في محاجر تدار بطرق شرعية وغير شرعية. تحقيق باب على الأمل والموت في ليبيا للصحفي جمال جوهر. يرصد التحقيق كيف يجلب السماسرة الأطفال من دول إفريقية وعربية إلى ليبيا على أمل تهريبهم إلى أوروبا وإدخالهم في سوق تجارة الأعضاء والدعارة والتسول والسخرة والبيع للغير أيضاً، وكيف تحول القُصّر إلى سلعة ومجال واسع للاستثمار من قبل شبكات دولية. تحقيق رحلة السرية لكشف الأطباء الذين يستغلون المرضى مثلي للصحفي رمضان يونس. يكشف التحقيق حالات احتيال تقوم بها عيادات في روسيا والولايات المتحدة والشرق الأوسط تستهدف المرضى العرب وتروج لعلاجات وعمليات طبية لمرضى التهاب الشبكية الصباغي باهظة الثمن لا تجدي نفعاً، وفي بعض الأحيان تتسبب بمضاعفات طبية قد تسفر عن فقد جزئي للبصر أو العمى التام. تحقيق زراعة العطش. هكذا استثمر كارتيل الدلاح بإقليم طاطا في عطش الساكنة وقتل الواحة للصحفي سعيد المرابط. يكشف التحقيق عن وجود كارتيل يتشكل من مجموعة أشخاص ذوي مصالح متشابكة يقومون بنهب أراضي الجموع من أجل زراعة البطيخ الأحمر في المغرب، ما أدى إلى تجفيف منابع المياه وسبب ضرراً للفرشة المائية في منطقة اشتهرت بالواحات ونظام سقي مستدام منذ قرون طويلة. تحقيق سجناء التدوير. تعطيل ممنهج لمجرى العدالة في مصر للصحفي إزيز قاسم وهو اسم مستعار. يسلط التحقيق الضوء على 5 حالات لسجناء في مصر جرى تدويرهم من قضية إلى أخرى من دون أن توجه لهم اتهامات بارتكاب وقائع محددة في ظل انتهاك حقوقهم كمتهمين. ويوثق التحقيق سعي النيابة العامة إلى تحقيق الإدانة عوضاً عن البحث عن الحقيقة. تحقيق حين ينفد الأكسجين. كيف يتسبب الإهمال في موت غواصين تحت الماء للصحفي أحمد عصر. يكشف التحقيق عن معاناة يعيشها مئات الغواصين التجاريين في مصر بسبب عدم التزام شركات الأعمال الهندسية البحرية التي يعملون لها باشتراطات وتعليمات الأمن والسلامة، ما يعرض هؤلاء الغواصين لمخاطر الإصابة والعجز والموت أحياناً. تحقيق فلاحو محافظة القصرين بتونس يجنون الفتات مقابل مرور خط أنابيب الغاز بأراضيهم للصحفية جيهان نصري. يكشف التحقيق عدم استجابة شركة سيرغاز الممثلة لشركة إيني الإيطالية لمطالب الفلاحين في تونس بزيادة سعر إيجار الأراضي التي يمر عبرها خط أنابيب الغاز نحو إيطاليا، إلى جانب عدم التزامها بوعودها فيما يخص بعض مشاريع التنمية في إطار مسؤوليتها الاجتماعية. تحقيق في خدمة البنتاغون. انتهاك حقوق العمالة المهاجرة في القواعد الأمريكية لمجموعة من الصحفيين والصحفيات. يكشف التحقيق انتهاكات في حق العمالة المهاجرة في معسكرات للجيش الأمريكي في دول خليجية عرف عنها البنتاغون وغض الطرف عنها وجدد العقود مع الشركات المخالفة. تحقيق ولاية الجسد. مستشفيات مصرية تمتنع عن إجراء جراحات للنساء من دون موافقة أزواجهن. للصحفية آيات خيري. يكشف هذا التحقيق رفض مستشفيات خاصة وحكومية في القاهرة إجراء جراحات لسيدات من دون موافقة مكتوبة من أزواجهن، ما يعرض حياتهن للخطر، ويتنافى مع الدستور المصري الذي يجرم التمييز، كما أنه يتنافى مع الاتفاقيات الدولية لحماية حقوق المرأة التي وقعتها الحكومة المصرية.
هل هناك دروس
Are there any learned lessons and observations can be built on after the screening of this for the ARIJ award this year and next year? I call the ARIJ screening Diane Attal, our chair of awards jury, Diane Attal, to the podium.
شكرا روان. معالي الأستاذ.
Thank you, Rawan. Ms. Reem Abu Hassan, head of the board of directors of ARIJ.
Thank you, Your Excellencies, your esteemed honors, our honorable audience, journalists, fact checkers, Arisian colleagues. Welcome to you in Jordan. In my name and on behalf of the jury, Hiba, Abdullah, Naji, and Anas, we would like to extend our gratitude to Ms. Rawan for this opportunity and for the support we have received from her team, Mona Sarraj and Sami Ayash. And we thank the screening committee, Ithar Al-Adm, Munir, Wahuda, also Ms. Rawan. We have received 42 investigative reports out of 149 reports, and the contributions were wonderful and the effort was great. Most contributions came from Egypt, followed by Yemen, Jordan, Morocco, Syria, Iraq, Palestine, Tunisia, Libya, and Kuwait. The investigations reflected the big pain and covered various topics, including medical errors, the environment, labor rights, human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and others. It has exposed cases of violence, humiliation, exploitation, slavery, selfishness, and racism. Of course, many investigations were of high risk. During the course of this conference, we heard from journalists who have risked their lives on a daily basis as the Israeli occupation army deliberately targeted them and targeted their families as well. We wish safety for all, and we emphasize the importance of following safety measures. But most importantly is that countries and organizations have to bear the responsibility of protecting journalists and civilians from being killed. Since we are in Amman, there will be some bias. We noted that there are some investigations made in Jordan, and we learned that they had recently received training and support from the ARIJ team. So thank you very much. The conference slogan, cross-border collaboration. Collaboration starts with building bridges, and currently the heroes of Palestine are the cross-border bridge where they platform to the world, and they broadcast to the world the crimes of genocide and ethnic cleansing in Gaza and the West Bank to a divided world, some of which are silent in the face of oppression, bias, and double standard, and support violence and apartheid and inhumanity. ARIJ have crossed all Arab borders. It has trained and supported thousands and has built bridges between journalists and fact-checkers. And this is a treasure that must be preserved. These bridges will continue because they were built on solid foundations of professionalism, credibility, humanity, and truth. They're not as fragile as the bridges with the West that fell within hours of the Israeli aggression on Gaza. Cross-border collaboration is built on understanding, mutual respect, and transparency, and this is possible with the people and organizations in the world that have cried out in the face of the governments that are biased with Israel and have chosen to side with truth and humanity. Rowan, you and your team and the ARIJ community spread throughout the world are an important example of the ability of Arabs to achieve success and continuity in one of the most important, difficult, and most dangerous professions in the world now, because the values are rooted, professionalism is there, and humanity is present. As Professor Mark Hunter indicated, the founding member of the Global Investigative Journalism Network, as he pointed out on the first day of this conference, he said that ARIJ Network is the organization or the network through which the Arab world leads the rest of the world. And here I quote, ARIJ is where the Arab world led the entire world. Rawan, since I knew you at the beginning of your career, you were diligent, your morals were high, and you had a high affiliation to your work. And now, after about 20 years, you're still the same. I wish you, your team, and your partners all the success. And I do hope that Jordan will continue to host the conference and to present it with all means of support and continuity. Thank you very much.
We have sent a special greeting to Jordan officially for all the facilitations that took place for the journalists from Yemen who took the risk also to arrive here in Jordan from all the places of Yemen, Eden, and only one weekly airplane that arrived in Jordan on Wednesday. I invite all the journalists from Yemen to stand up. 41 journalists from Yemen in the ARIJ forum this year. Thank you so much. Welcome and in our homeland, Jordan. We now arrive at the awards. Who won the bronze, silver, and golden awards? I first invite the Irish Ambassador Mariana Bogler in Jordan and the panel, Hibba Kandil to the platform. The panel chose this year to have 2 awards with a special mention, and the first one goes to
ولاية الجسد مستشفيات مصرية.
The story of the body, Ayat Khairi, an Egyptian story by Ayat Khairi.
للعام الثاني
For the
على
second year in a row, Ayat Khairi is in the 10 nominees and she wins a mention. Ayat, please come to the stage.
ناخذ صورة
Let's take a picture, please, and then we give you the mic.
آيات.
For the third year, I've been nominated for the ARIJ Award, and for the second year, I would like to thank the management of ARIJ and all the journalists across the Arab world. I thank any party who makes an effort to prove the truth through their work as journalists. Thank you.
أدعو
I
الآن
invite the ambassador of the EU in Jordan, Mr. Pierre Christopher, and the editor-in-chief of ARIJ, Munir Al-Khatib, please come to the stage.
التنويه
The second tribute of this year goes to an investigation
في خدمة البنتاغون انتهاك
in the service of Pentagon violating the rights of the immigrants at the U.S. Military bases and a cross-border investigation. This is the slogan. I call on Gerard Drive from America and our partnerships at the NBC and the investigative reporter Gerard. Where is Gerard? The International Association of Journalists. He's here, and who led this? Our team, our colleague Huda Othman. This investigation so far has won 7 international and US awards. Huda, let's take a picture and then you have the mic.
شكرا جزيلا
Thank you so much. I appreciate this award because this investigation embodies the slogan of this forum, which is the cross-border investigations. It's been very difficult. Yes, it's difficult amidst this destruction and the murder and killings that take place in Gaza that we can celebrate this award. It is difficult while our colleagues are being killed or injured and their families are being also killed or injured. Their houses are destruction, their offices are destructed, they're being arrested and detained and banned water and access to water and food. It's very difficult for me to speak about this. We had 2 reporters from Gaza, Amal and who were assassinated in one of ARIJ's programs, and they were invited to be in this forum this year. We wished for that, but my little contribution in this investigation, I would like to dedicate to Amal and Maha and to all the journalists who are in Gaza, who are currently in Gaza. I salute them for their resilience, and I hope that Amal and Maha and the rest of journalists and others from Gaza to be with us next year. I just want to conclude to apologize for Andy, our partners, and all the colleagues who took part in this investigation. I wanted to mention them by the name or to speak about the tremendous effort that we did in achieving this investigation, but I can't. And I hope that they understand. Thank you.
نشكر الشركاء ICIJ
We thank our partners ICIJ and ARIJ and all, and I would like to thank Huda Osman, who is following up with the journalists in Gaza over all the past days. I would like now to call the Norwegian ambassador to Jordan, Espen Lindbakk, and the jury member, Naji Tamimi, to the podium to announce the Bronze Award.
قررت لجنة التحكيم
The jury decided this year to award the Bronze Award equally. The first bronze prize goes to
فلاحو محافظة القصرين
farmers of the Kasrain Governorate, Jihad, Tunis. So the bronze award is split in two.
شكرا لزميلاتي.
Thank you, colleagues. Actually, I have been, I don't know what to say. I'm so overwhelmed, but I'd like to say that we'd like to thank ARIJ for its support to all journalists. And I'd like to thank my supervisor, Hanan Isbiz, who have accompanied me in working on this investigation. Actually, I've come from Tunisia, and I carry with me the concerns of the people, just as we carry in the Arab world the concerns of Palestine, which is the joint Arab case. We hope a day will come when we Arabs get rid of the occupation, whether this aggression or the occupation of corruption or assassination or exploitation. Thank you very much. I call Hanan Isbiz to the supervisor of this investigation to come to the podium. This report has had an impact on the ground, and they have dismissed the responsible of this, or the officer responsible and accused in this report. The second bronze award goes to
أملاك مسلوبة.
stolen properties. How do influential people seize expatriate properties in Kamishli? Hamza Kamahi. Hamaki. And his colleague Lujain will get the prize or the award on his behalf. And she was the supervisor of this investigation.
شكرا جزيلا لكم.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now I invite to the podium the ambassador of the Netherlands to Jordan, Harry Verwij, and a member of the jury, Anas Bandif, to the podium.
الجائزة الفضية.
Now the silver award from ARIJ Awards for the best Arab investigative reporting in 2023 goes to this investigation.
سجناء التدوير.
It's the prisoners of Qasim. This was published under a factious name, recycling prisoners, and the journalists will not be able to announce their names or to come and get the awards. I ask Firas Al-Tawil, the supervisor for this investigation, to come to the podium to get the award on their behalf. And the journalist was sent to Firas to read on his or her behalf. Recycling prisoners.
السلام عليكم.
Assalamu alaikum.
نتحدث عن
We're talking about the most risks that Arab investigative journalists face in the Arab world. They publish under factious names like investigations of ARIJ, and in the Arab world there are many that are published under these factious names because of the risk of their lives. But what can we say about the risks that take place in the Gaza Strip? Journalists who are dying every day are being killed, and during the 50 past days of aggression, 70 journalists were killed, and they were in the front lines just to convey the message. So what risks are we talking about after this, and what appraisals and assessments of safety can we talk about after this war that is still ongoing, and while we're still talking to you, and every minute a house is destroyed and tens and hundreds are losing their lives in the Gaza Strip? In all cases, I would like to convey the message of the journalist who has won this investigation under the factious name, because the characters in this investigation, some of them are still in this report, are still in jail. And he says, this is dedication for our colleagues behind the bars, Sulaf, Jihad, Al-Haddad, and Jamal Hassan and Abdel Malik, and to the all free people who live in the different cells in the Arab world, who are awaiting a ray of sunlight to get in to their cells, who encounter the amputated laws and legislations, and in a day, tomorrow, and or after, birds will fly again. I now invite the Swedish ambassador to Jordan, Alexandra Redmark, and the chair of the jury of this year's ARIJ Awards, Bayan Attal, to the podium. So the award of all awards, the Golden Award for the Best Arab Investigative Report for this year. What did the jury think? Let's see. My secret journey. Ramadan Yunus. This investigation is a television hour produced by BBC News Arabic by correspondent Ramadan Yunus, filmed and directed by George Hampton, and produced by Nader Ibrahim. I invite all colleagues from BBC Arabic who are with us at the ARIJ forum this year. I invite you to come to stage, please.
زميل مصطفى خليل.
Colleague Mustafa Khalili, we need you with us here.
في البداية أنا First, I would like to thank Jordan, its people for their good hospitality. I would like to thank ARIJ for making my first experience with them a simple one. I would also like to thank all the the fellow journalists who all came to the ARIJ 16th forum from all over the world to celebrate the great works that we've done despite all the challenges. I would also like to thank my mother, who was in one of the scenes of the film. She suffered with my sickness since I was a little kid. I would also like to thank all the patients who had the courage to stand up before the camera and for the first time to reveal their disease. And we know that it's such a sensitive issue, especially those in the Gaza Strip, and among whom I have one as a character in the film. On this occasion, I would like to share with you a message I received from one of the patients in the Gaza Strip prior to entering this hall. This patient says that he was always dreaming to have the treatment in the coming few years, and we celebrate together. But he said that it's the death or the is closer because the shelling is surrounding his home. He lost a lot of his relatives and family. I hope for him to stay alive and that he be able to finish his treatment and to come and celebrate with us, just like the rest of the world someday. To conclude, I won this golden award this year. Next year, we will all come here to celebrate another colleague. So any success of any one of us is a success to all. The main objective is to combat corruption, discrimination, and injustice. This is the purpose. And all together with the cross-border collaboration, we would be facing the challenges and confronting the difficulties. Thank you, ARIJ. We will be stronger. Freedom, justice for Palestine, security and safety and protection for our fellow colleagues in Palestine, Lebanon, Sudan, Yemen, and all the world. We come to the end of our meeting for this year. I especially thank the ARIJ team, the ARIJ board of directors, the donors, and the partners. I thank you for your trust, you ARIJians, from the investigative journalists and fact-checkers. Our colleague, the director of the communication, ARIJ Sami Ayesh, said in the opening of the forum, we bet on you, and our bet was a correct one. All the efforts made for us to meet here were true and were correct. We meet by God's willing in the next ARIJ 17th forum from the 6th to the 8th December 2024. In circumstances we hope to be much better than today's circumstances, where peace and justice, as opposed to killing and targeting of journalists, is the basis in a world that is not divided, in a world that is not fragmented, and that collaborate across the borders for true and honest journalism for us, for the sake of our kids, for a better future. Peace be upon you all.